Rancher's up. You're ready to deploy Kubernetes. The first question you have to ask yourself is, where's your cluster going to live? You have several options to choose from. Rancher can deploy clusters into a hosted provider's environment, such as EKS, AKS, GKE.
It actually works really well with hosted provider solutions.
That's a great point. I mean, we've seen this time and time again where the experience is really nice.
It's phenomenal. Our support for that type of solution is perfect.
Yeah, and then they manage the database and sort of the critical components that are typically part of the SLA of Kubernetes, and then you get the really rich Rancher experience on top.
Yeah.
Super great option if you can use that.
Yep.
Now, if you deploy cloud infrastructure, then you have to deploy Kubernetes into it.
But Rancher can do that for you as well. It can actually do both of those steps.
Right. And so in both cases, it does full lifecycle management of the resources, which means you can add and remove nodes from the Rancher UI. And if you delete the cluster in Rancher, Rancher will delete the infrastructure components out of the provider, giving you sort of a control plane that's centralized for multiple providers or from multiple environments.
If you do your provisioning with Terraform, Ansible, Puppet, Chef, Cloud Init, Shell scripts, auto-scaling groups, or anything else, is there anything else?
What about Notepad?
If you do your provisioning with Notepad,
that's my favorite. It's so fast. Have you ever tried running it? It's like notepad.exe, enter.
Boom, Kubernetes. So if you do your provisioning with any other system like that, you can use the custom driver to build those nodes into a Kubernetes cluster. So as you already saw with the intro to RKE, the only software requirement on the host for RKE is a supported version of Docker. The custom driver gives you a Docker run command that's unique for the cluster that you're creating. You can add it to the end of your provisioner, whatever it is, Notepad, and when you deploy new hosts, they'll automatically join the cluster.
Finally, if you already have Kubernetes clusters running out there, or if you're using something like K3s, which is a good idea, you can import those clusters into Rancher. Rancher will give you a kubectl apply command to run against that cluster. And this will install the Rancher agent, connect it back to the Rancher server, and the cluster will be available for Rancher to manage. Very simple.